Hey guys, what's up? Joker. Just want to talk about my early thoughts on New World. I played it maybe 3, 4 hours, something like that, and just want to give my opinion about it. I'm about level 12, so I'm not like really far away, and I haven't approached in-game content. But um, I think what I thought about this game has not changed. It's um, I think an interesting game. It reminds me of RuneScape a lot, where you just run around collecting resources, not really doing some set certain main questing like maybe a Final Fantasy. But um, this game I feel like is not gonna attract the casual audience. I, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad game. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good game. I'm saying I don't think there's enough appeal in this game to a casual audience, and to be honest, that's really where games live and die by. You look at it. Is there gonna be a hardcore base? Yes. Do I see myself playing this a lot? I could definitely see myself playing this a lot, but here's the difference. I don't see myself playing it all the time, like a big session, stuff like that. I see myself maybe playing it an hour or so, because usually when I play it for an hour or so, I get bored and I literally just don't care about playing. I'm like, man, I kind of want to play something else. I want to kind of do something else. And it's just really weird thinking about it, and you might be saying, well, if you can play for an hour and get some entertainment, that's a casual base. Well, it's like a casual person is probably going to be wanting to approach some goal. I'm thinking about it in the sense of I could go run around, collect resources for an hour, go beat up some fucking enemies with a bunch of people. That's where I see the enjoyment. That's not a casual approaching thing. That's a more hardcore, I'm playing a game to just play a game to like I'm gamifying the game for myself to get enjoyment. That's not what casuals want. They want a story to take them down a path, have things branch out that story that makes it interesting for them. And I just don't see it. I think the story is just non-existent. I honestly can't even tell you what the story is because they blew the load of the story budget in the first 2 minutes on that cutscene. I haven't seen anything else to that extent. The story is so like I don't even know what it is. It's basically you just starting out in the world, and to me, that's just not entertaining. Like Final Fantasy kind of did the same thing, where it's like you're starting out in this world, you're getting introduced, but it kept you engaged on that path more than, oh wow, I can go get this bush and cut down this tree and then get this iron ore and then I can go craft this stuff. That's just tertiary things. It's like you're keeping yourself engaged, and to be honest, that doesn't work with me. I need a main story if I'm gonna be playing a game longer. I need something to work towards in the end game. And to me, what I've heard and what I've seen in the end game, it's not there. It's not enough content that would make me want to keep going towards that end game. And there's a lot of people, I think it's cool that you can pick your factions and stuff like that, and it's fine or whatever. But to me, what was kind of weird is like you're entering a syndicate city and literally everybody can do anything they want there without harm. I think that's fine. That's appealing to a lot of, that's a casual appealing thing. You don't want it to be where it's like, oh, this is a syndicate outpost, so you're not a syndicate, you can't come in here. That would be just stupid. um and also I think turning the PvP on and off, that's a good thing too. um but like, I think honestly one of the more fun points where I had was where we were just a bunch of people just sitting on this dude who's taking 5 minutes to respawn, Master Henry, and we were just all talking and chilling out. It's like, okay, that's cool. I can get that in a lot of other games too. um but yeah, the chat is also an interesting thing. It's kind of, they're all kind of delusional and coping on like somebody was like, I need a mount because this place is so big, and they're like, dude, you don't need a mount. That's the point of the game. You're supposed to be walking around for 30 years to get to a point. It's like, no, are you stupid? Like, it shouldn't, the majority of your quest shouldn't be you walking back and forth. That's just dumb. I hated when Final Fantasy did that. I hate it when this game does it. It's just pure stupidity. You want somebody to be engaged. How about you make it easier to go from quest to quest? That's also a thing. I don't think mounts are really the most engaging, wouldn't work because the point of the game is you walking around, seeing resource nodes and stuff like that, seeing things on the path and interacting with that. I think a mount, you would just be like booming all the way to a thing and not really taking your time to like search and look around in areas. So I think that's fine, but I think they need to like not make the world smaller, but at least make travel better. And I honestly can't think off the top of my head anything else besides a mount. But again, what I said is the mount would ruin kind of some point of that experience. But if you're going to be collecting nodes and stuff like that, I guess it would make sense that, hey, you would be walking around a bit and collecting nodes. But I also gotta think it's like the Master Henry thing also brings up something that's interesting. It's like that it wasn't a main quest; it was a side quest. So at least, yeah, I think it was a side quest, where we were all just sitting around for 5 minutes waiting for this dude to spawn, and it's like, oh, there's a bunch of people there. If you don't get the credit, you're gonna have to wait another 5 minutes, and it's like, even if you tag the boss like I did before, before I didn't get the credit and I had to wait again, and I joined with some other guy's party just to make sure I could get the credit, and it worked at that time, and it was like, well, that still kind of sucks, dude, because like guess what, you're in a new game, your friends aren't gonna necessarily gonna want to play this new game, you're gonna have to be making friends, and it's like that's another little obstacle because it's like you're not getting a seamless experience. You have to, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of sounds stupid, but you're gonna have to make friends, obviously, in an MMO. It's just how you're gonna live, but it's another thing, and it's like, well, I could be going off and doing this other MMO where my friends are already in, and we could just be chilling out because we're already capped and max level and stuff like that. And honestly, I think New World is gonna lose a bunch of players after the first week, and I think it's going to be completely dead after a month, because after a month all the hardcore people are going to be like, yo, there's no content, where the fuck's the end game content? And it's like, well, there is going to be none because no one blows through a bunch of content in about, well, I think the hardcore people, to be honest, I think people are going to be hitting in game within a week pretty easily. I mean, there's definitely been in this open beta a lot of like no lifer people who they're like into level 40 territory, like branching out, and it's been like 2 days. Like that's kind of crazy to me, but like I think people are easily gonna, I think people are also testing this new open world beta out because they're seeing, okay, how do I optimize XP and stuff like that, and people are gonna hit that end game, people are gonna hit 60, 48 hours, 60 hours, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, it's not gonna be, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be that much of a challenge. Now the combat, I'm playing sword and shield. I can tell the people who are using a staff and using magic are having a lot of fun because you're like pew pew pewing and stuff like that. I think the bow is shit, I think the gun is shit, but they're low level weapons that are doing no damage. But when I take my sword up front and I'm swinging around and I'm knocking the shit out of some dude, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's also kind of mindless because like I'm literally just tanking hits and I'm okay. Like I can just like eat something and I'm good to go. Or I can finally actually click the block button and I take no damage, or I dodge every once in a while. I think the combat is okay. I don't think it's great. I think there is a lot of room to improve on it. It just feels clunky. It's like kind of weird. It's like I'm not playing a game that's gonna launch in 2 weeks. Like it feels like I'm playing an alpha for a game that's launching in a year. It just doesn't feel. It just doesn't feel good. You know, I think the enemies AI is dumb in some points. Also, they just seem like they have this one pattern and there's no life to it. I think also the voice acting is terrible. I think the, you know, what are they called, the CPU, I think all those non-playable characters are just lifeless people you just go talk to and they give you something. that's just a bad thing. You need to have like characters. Like I'm thinking about it, it's like there's no Raban, there's no Papa Shan, there's no Merriwell, there's no character. The weird thing is like the captain was that type of character. The captain dies in the first minute. I mean, not first minute, first second of the game. He dies. I mean, not first second. After the cutscene, 30 seconds in, he dies. So, and honestly, the high point was that first sequence when you're on the beach. It's so weird how it just like starts so high and then drops so low. I just don't get it. To me, am I gonna buy it at $30? I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think honestly, in 6 months, this game is gonna go free to play with a cash shop, and it's gonna be just hardcore players left. Honestly, I think Amazon, they do have potential. I'm not saying it's dead on arrival. It's just my opinion. There's definite potential to where they could keep this going, and it's making that end game seem appealing, fixing combat throughout the entirety. And do I think this game should launch in its state it's in? I think it's gotta just come out eventually. You can't keep delaying a game and have just nothing to show for it. You're gonna just keep delaying the game because there's always gonna be a problem. I mean, I had one time when all the textures just blew out of the world. That's gonna happen. I mean, it's also a beta build too, so you got to think about it from that perspective. Not everything's gonna be final game, but when you look at it in 2 weeks out, this is basically the final build. They just slapped the beta in front of it so people don't put out YouTube videos saying this is the final product and it sucks. But I think honestly I'm gonna wait and see with it. To be honest, there's a lot of games launching around this, and I feel like they're more appealing to what I want to play. I still have Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I think within 2 weeks we'll know if this game is gonna be a big deal or if it's gonna be a dud. Do I think like it's Atlas? No, it's not a broken piece of shit that should have never existed. Do I think it's Ark? No, I don't think it's a broken piece of shit that shouldn't have existed. I think it's a competent game that just has a lot of missing components, and it could still be fun. I mean, like I said, I really wanted just a game that I can just chill out with and just go gather some, some flints, some wood, some iron, just go craft and make some cool weapons, go just beat the shit out of some mobs with the boys. I mean, that's what I want. I think this game can deliver it. And I think if it leans into that type of aspect, I think it's gonna be an experience where a lot of people are gonna be playing it. Is it gonna be the most popular game? Well, it did beat a lot of Steam concurrent records, and it was popping off on that earlier beta. So I think there's potential, but can they keep all those people is gonna be the biggest question, because that's it with MMOs. If you lose people, if the player base starts dying, the game is just, I'm sorry, even if it's a good game, it's gonna die. And I think a lot of people also in the chat, in game, need to stop sipping the copium and wake up, because this game isn't like the best game you've ever played. You objectively can think that this game is not the best game I've ever played. And also I want to add on and say, like, to the people who are like, oh, you only played 4 hours. It's like, guys, I don't need to play 40 hours of a game in order to figure out a game sucks. I think in the first 10 minutes we can figure out if something is good or something is bad. I think that is transmutable through everything. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, really helps me out. Leave a comment if you disagree with me, because I bet a lot of people do. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. So bye.